You're listening to a special bonus edition of the Expect Effect podcast. And here at the Expect Effect, self-care, the concept thereof, that's our primary focus. Listen, we know life is hard, but we believe self-care doesn't have to be. Consider this an acknowledgement of feeling, a judgment-free zone, the birth of every great idea within you. This is your weekly dose of me time, and I'm your host. It's Jess Nakia. Sit back, relax, and unwind as we uncover ways to truly expect better, do better, and believe better. Without further ado, let's get right into it. This week's bonus episode, Will the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up? Featuring one of my very, very good friends who actually happens to be roommates with JP the Rapper, Joshua Nevels. If you are not listening to the Paper Airplanes EP that he put out in 2019, then you are doing a huge disservice to yourself. This EP is an amazing production of work. He's an amazing individual, and I know you're going to love it. Keep in mind, he was a guest here on our show already, and if you haven't listened to his episode, then run it all the way back. Put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it, because that episode is going to give you so much insight, I think, into many aspects in areas of your life when you're just trying to figure out, how do I keep going? How could I keep going? Do you see what happened to me? Do you know what I've been through? So definitely get plugged into that. But if you're wondering what kind of person Ty is, my featured guest of the week here that we're going to be stepping into full effect with on this bonus episode, he's a man of humility, of grace, of passion, of insight. He's talented. He's so talented and just really, really passionate, amazing. I have nothing but high praises for this individual. But the show topic, Will the Real Slim Shady Please Stand Up? Why would I possibly call it that? Well, I want to talk about becoming the best at what you do, owning your field. There are going to be many people like you. And it goes without saying that we all have some innate desire to succeed and be great. We fantasize outside of our present circumstances. We want a lot in terms of money, stability, and engagement. But somehow along the way, life has a tendency to catch us off guard. Shocker, right? How, however, then can anyone develop something of a universal method or set of principles for success when life doesn't deal its hand fairly? Many of us are forced to play with a hand that seemingly puts us at a disadvantage. Perspective, however, is everything, and rest assured, all you have is all you need. Success is attainable at any level. I'm not just talking success that you desire, but the success that says wherever you put me, no matter the situation, I'm going to work and I'm going to really, really own this thing. My work is going to speak for itself, and it's going to seem like I'm coming for your job because that's how great I'm going to do it. Even though this isn't what I desire right now in this moment, even though this isn't what I want in the long run for me, I will serve nonetheless. In this, I will grow as an individual in faith, favor, and purpose, and no matter what, I will succeed. Remember, last week I said if it doesn't, I will. If it doesn't, I will. I'm going to succeed, but how do we really put into practice owning and learning in certain situations? I once heard someone say that if you're offered a great opportunity that you don't know how to do, accept the opportunity and figure out how to do it later. There's a principle and set of practices that comes to say, I'm always going to be willing to take on a new challenge. That's what success is inevitably, is saying I'm always going to be willing to take on more responsibility, more challenges. I'm always going to be willing to put myself outside of my comfort zone and in a new place, of exposure. According to Time Magazine, they wrote an article back in 2014, if I believe. Let me get a fact check there. 2014 is correct. Time Magazine wrote an article stating that when striving for success, there are 4 practices we should meticulously follow. The first says, I will always work hard to improve. Second, when choosing tasks and strategies, consider your natural gifts. Third, pick a great team to get familiar with them. And fourth, within reason, always help others. Always work hard to improve. When choosing tasks and strategies, consider your natural gifts. Pick a great team and get familiar with them. And within reason, always help others. And that sounds great. I think it's amazing, but in real world application, what exactly does this imply? And how can you, on a basic level, like you and me, how can we accomplish this? How, Sway? Like, I was really wondering. So I took some time to break it down, and I would say 1, self-love equals self-improvement. We did episode 1 and we said, I love me like Kanye loves Kanye. And that means I love me enough to accept me exactly where I am, but I also love me enough to see myself to the other side of where I need to be. That means that I have to be willing to improve. There is work that has to be done. I have to be adaptable. I have to be willing to learn. I have to be willing to communicate. It has to be a focus on self, because I know that the best output I can give is my own. And that's my second point. The best output you can give is your own. Self-love equals self-improvement. When you're working on you, you start to realize that there are certain seeds and gems, and you start to say to yourself, maybe my purpose is this thing. That could be teaching, that could be ministering, that could be being a doctor, that could be being a bus driver. Like you may be very, very passionate about transportation, and that is okay. Find your calling, stick to that thing, and you recognize the best output you can give is your own. Third, when Time Magazine spoke on considering your natural gifts and then picking a great team to get familiar with them. Picking a great team enhances your natural gifts when you really have the right people around you. So my third point would be crew. You gotta have a strong crew. You have to have people who inspire you to create, who reciprocate the energy that you put out, who encourage you, and who work with you. I have to have a strong crew. We're creating, we're reciprocating, we're encouraging one another, we're working together, we're seeing bigger and better things happen. Success built by yourself is an amazing feat. Don't get me wrong, but nothing is truly done alone. There is always someone or something that helps propel us and get us to that next level. You have to be willing to acknowledge those aspects of life and also really secrete. And your community might be 2 people. That's cool. That's okay. Big circles aren't all good circles. The small circles don't mean anything other than the fact that you are more centered and grounded in yourself probably than the average person. No matter the size of your crew or inner circle, just make sure it's right. And make sure that you're creating, reciprocating, encouraging, and working together. If this isn't the company you keep, then you need new company. And finally, reap what you sow. Understand that you will reap what you sow. What you give out is what you give back. Within reason, Time Magazine said to always help others. I think we really short sell generosity, or how good it can make us feel when we're helping other people, and how inevitably by helping other people, we often encounter experiences that help us improve ourselves. It improves our mood, it changes our outlook, it changes our perspective, and it shows our heart. When you're willing to give, it also means you're willing to receive. You're willing to put out more, and I promise you're going to get back more. So real quick, before we step into full effect with Tyler, let's recap what Time covered with us. When it comes down to practicing and making sure that you're going to reach success, there are 4 steps that we're going to have to meticulously follow. We're always going to have to work hard to improve. And when choosing tasks and strategies, we're going to have to consider our natural gifts. We're going to have to pick a great team and get familiar with them. And then within reason, we're going to have to always help others. What we give out is what we get back. And then when it comes to the real world application of these suggested practices, understand that self-love equals self-improvement. The best output you can give is your own. When it comes down to building a team, getting tight with your inner circle, creating, reciprocating, encouraging, and working with those around you is the most important. These are the most important factors you could recognize. So get tight with your crew. If this isn't the company you keep, then you need new company. And understand that you reap what you sow. What you give is what you get back. So right now, hold on. I'm about to play this beat, this fire beat that I made. I'm going to keep telling y'all, because let me tell you, when I'm producing tracks in 2021, don't say nothing to me. Jokes aside, we're really about to step into full effect with one of the most amazing individuals I've ever had the pleasure of sitting down with on the show. Tyler. I wanted to call him Ty just now, but I'm having a hard time with it, as I do with a lot of people that come on the show and they're like, yo, this is who I be. And I'll be like, but your name is I've known it. And so it's very hard for me. But Tyler, whatever you want to call him, doesn't matter what you call him. Just keep listening. Sit back, relax. We're stepping into full effect with Ty right after this.
How y'all doing, man? My name is Ty. I'm a 26-year-old construction supervisor. Um, I live in Amarillo, Texas. I've lived with my best friend for the past 7 years now, and life's been good. Life's been great. Been crazy up and down, but we in here.
We are in here, and what he failed to mention is that he's exceptionally talented, probably one of the dopest MCs I've ever heard. Everything about his style is very captivating, even his demeanor and his control. I love that he presented the fact that right now, he serves as a construction supervisor, okay? He had to let y'all know he is the H in charge, okay? He's the head honcho. But aside from all of those things, a really, really dope MC, an amazing creative. I love everything that you do put out when I do see you perform and I do see you work. Mentioning the ups and downs, though, talk to me a little bit about when I say defining success in any field that you're in, defining success in your own right. Tell me what that looks like for you.
Really, I think it's all about the ability to adapt. Um, I've often been referred to as a chameleon, more or less, because I can literally go into any crowd, any setting, and kind of just blend in and not look like I'm a sore thumb in the room. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel like when you're working towards any type of progression or any type of overcoming of an obstacle, it's all about being able to adapt and change your methods up to get different results. If you do the same thing and expect different results, that's the definition of crazy, right?
110%. I would agree with that there. And I think it's also important, though. Talk to me a little bit when you say switching up the methods. I think a lot of people will be saying, like, listen, this thing right here that I already do, this works for me. And you don't know what I've been through. And you don't understand my circumstances or situations. So how could you possibly tell me to switch it up? When you talk about overcoming fear and being willing to address those areas of your life that maybe you are scared to venture out in, what allowed you to do that? Like, what put you in a position to say, I'm going to take chances to allow myself to be adaptable?
I really just got tired of being in the same place, being stagnant, not making any progressions in life, just kind of being stuck. Um, so I mean, I feel like if somebody, if for example, if I'm at work and I see somebody doing something and it's not necessarily the way that I would do it, I try to coach them, hey, this is my method, this is how I do this. But, if you're not comfortable with this method, if you know another method that's already works for you, then, put me up on game on that. So that
You cut out, Ty.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Are you still there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah, I can hear you now.
That's hello.
Are you...
There I go. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I got you.
That was weird. Where was I? What did I leave off with?
Okay, so yeah, what we can do, you were essentially just saying that, like, when you see someone who's doing something, that maybe you wouldn't do, you then present your method of coaching to them. But then you also, it sounds to me like you were saying that you open the door for that feedback as well, for them to present their method to you and maybe like have collaboration there when we talk adaptability.
Right. Okay, so yeah, so basically, I'll give them my method, and they can be like, no, I've been doing this way for so long. This is how it works for me. Um, I'll learn their way, and I'll teach them my way. That way, we both know how each other does things. And then, if I see another person, I'm like, hey, this is how I do it. This is how I learned that so and so does it. These are both methods. If you don't know, this can help you get better at this, particular skill or particular, whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, I feel that. And my big takeaways there are the fact that essentially in any setting, when we're talking about making yourselves adaptable and when we're talking about really saying that I'm going to be successful in any situation, that requires communication, that requires learning, and it requires a willingness to be in those spaces and have that collaboration. So there will be communication to say, you know, hey, this is the method in which I would use, or maybe I think this is a good method. It's all about trial and error. Remember, self-love equals self-improvement. And you have to be willing to go through these phases. You're also going to have to be willing to blend in community spaces and know that the best output you can give is your own. So when you're saying like, yes, this is how I would do something, be open to that conversation, be open to learning another method, and be open to the collaboration of your methods. And that will inevitably, I think, ensure your climb to the top no matter where you are. And so those are the big things I took away from what you said. Moving forward, though, kind of on that same footnote, tell me what has helped you develop the ability to communicate with others, because, you know, definitely understanding that you're willing to take a chance, that you're willing to learn, and that you have a very good grasp on what it takes to be adaptable. But what led you to communication? What do you think keeps you so open?
Being humble. You can't really, it's hard to accomplish anything with a cocky attitude, which, I mean, being a, you know, an MC, that kind of comes with it. You kind of have to have that, you know, my shit don't stink type of attitude, because, you know, if you want to be the best, you got to think you're the best, and you don't, you know what I mean? So, going back to communication, it all goes back to, you know, staying humble and being able to, to accept people's input, whether it's, you know, negative or positive. And, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm a hermit. I'm very antisocial unless I'm, you know, at an event or I have someplace I have to be. So it's kind of hard for me to open up at times. But it all goes back to, you know, if I want to get better, I need to learn, you know, I need to see what people's opinions are. I need to see what people are thinking. That way I can take that feedback and I can kind of, you know, fester on it and grow from it.
And I really, really like that, especially like if I want to get better, right? Because I think that's kind of the oversight a lot of us, like myself included, miss in the season of progression. It's this thing of, yeah, it would be really nice if, or it would be really awesome if, but if I want to get better, there's some work I have to do, right? There's some acknowledgement that I need to make. There's some love I need to give. There's some learning that has to be done. And I love to hear you say that, like, mostly in most instances, I'm not this social, right? Like, you really don't see me go out and network unless I'm at an event, or I'm more of a hermit, but I have this innate desire, this innate love for myself, this belief that I need, that I deserve the best life has to offer me. So therefore, I have to produce the best version of myself possible, which means I have to really strive towards my dreams in the best way possible. So that's going to involve me coming out of my comfort zone. This is exactly why I wanted Ty on this episode, so that he could really kind of shed light from so many different perspectives to show that you can be successful, you can be passionate, you can be creative, you can still drive in your 9 to 5. You got to be willing to go to work, you have to be willing to steward, and you have to be willing and open to move forward and accepting change. One point we did highlight, and you mentioned in your introduction, that you've been living with your best friend, who, you guys, it's JP the rapper, who's previously been on our show, one of my most favorite people. Are you getting in a car right now, Tyler? Are you really doing this, Tyler?
Oh, see, I'm sorry. My bad, my homie came out.
This is why you can't bring your people on the show. You see, I was really trying to we were having such a professional run, y'all, and look at what he did. I even skipped past the blunder. I wasn't even gonna say nothing to you about how you came out and dropped the call on him. I was like, we're gonna move forward. I had my Caucasian voice on for you. Look what you did, Tyler. Now, wow.
I was already in the car, and my homie looked like he was about to start questioning me, so I rolled the window. I had to turn the accessories on to roll the window down to tell him I was on a conference call. And
oh wow! So this is Josh's fault? Is that what you said?
No, it's Parker's fault.
I'm dead. Oh my God. Well, when we're done, tell him I said what's up. Tell him to run this episode back so he can hear his beep cameo there also. But really, like, to go forward and to get back on a serious note, y'all, I really love Tyler, and I'm just so glad that he could come on the show and that we can chop it up like this. But to get back into it, when we talk about You said, mentioned living with Josh at the top of the call, and I focused in on the importance of having a crew. And when I talk about crew, I'm talking about creating people that inspire you to create, people that reciprocate your energy, people that encourage you, and people that push you to work. I think it's so important that our inner circle in our community is strong, structured, and really of us. So talk to me a little bit about, even when being a hermit, what helps you identify the type of people you really want in your inner circle, and separate, draw that line between the people that we have to communicate with in order to improve, the people that we have to collaborate with, and then bringing them into that inner circle.
Okay, man. It's all about, to me, my close group of, creatives. It's all about communication again and accountability. And I've worked with people, producers and things, and other artists here and there that, kind of I work with them just to get the music out. You know what I mean? And then come to find out, I don't necessarily like this person as a person. You know what I mean? So
I felt that. I'm not gonna say no names, but ooh.
Right. So working with them, you kind of have to keep a professional attitude when you're trying to accomplish a task, or get some work put out. But as far as outside of the production, um, I don't see myself keeping those type of people in my life or around, especially if they're going to be at my house, because I live with my best friend who has a daughter, so I have to be real cautious of who I bring in and out and around her, because I don't want to have the wrong people around, kind of molding the woman that she's going to become. You know what I mean? So
That's so powerful. But like a quick pause on so many levels, protect your home. And I don't think a lot of people really grasp the concept of outside energy, or like the weight that other people can carry with them. When you talk about bringing certain people into your spaces, into your lives, and into the way, like, I don't even let certain, like, I have a strong premise. Y'all might think this is taking it too far, but I have a strong premise about letting people touch me. Like, I really don't even want you in my particular space. I will sanitize my desk down. I move around because I really feel like energy is transferable. But more importantly, like, I know what I can carry with me in a day. So I know that it's possible to not know at all the weight anybody else is carrying with them. So I think 110%, you're right. Like, you have to be careful with those energies. And especially when you think about children and what they can be exposed to, that's really, really powerful. So absolutely. But the continuation of your point, my bad.
No worries. Just being, like you said, cautious of who you have in your home. I also believe that, energy, people's vibes kind of manifest, and have a true impact on everybody else and everything else around. So I like to surround myself with positivity and good people. People with good intentions, people with good character and morals, and um, I don't do negativity very well. I don't like negativity. I do be in some bad moods, let me tell you, but that's just part of the process.
I feel that. Like, I truly like to be uplifting. That's not to say I don't catch an attitude. I don't have problems. I just really, really try to stay in a space of, like, this is usually how life just be like this, and you just have to keep pushing. So I feel that.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, for sure. Um, but yeah, it's all about, you got to find a balance. You know, it's I brought in the point that I like to surround myself with positivity, but if all I have around me is constant positivity, then I don't have any type of negativity at all. Then where's the learning curve in that?
Absolutely. There's no way to gain appreciation of something. And it's unfortunate that human society is this way. But it's like, it's impossible for us to gain appreciation of something if we don't lose it, or almost lose it, or jeopardize it, or, if there's not something that shakes us, it's like we have no concept of the other side.
Absolutely.
All right, I feel that. Definitely making sure that there's communication, that there's balance, that you're careful, protect your energy, all of those things. It's super, super important that we carry ourselves, that we're careful, and that we move intentionally. And I think anytime we're talking success, when I say, will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Yes, Tyler, it's an inside joke between the two of us, but also that title encompasses the fact that there are going to be a lot of people who do what you do. Tyler is not the only construction supervisor. I'm not the only podcast host. He's not the only MC. I'm not the only anything in what we do. There are a number of talented female creatives, Black creatives, I'm sure amazing and phenomenal artists, but you have to own your own lane and stand up in a way that makes you identifiable no matter where you are. And if you're able to do that and conquer any space you're in, then there's no question about how definitive and how great your path is going to be, because you've learned to adapt, become a chameleon, and really just blend into any situation. You said, I'm going to have the best time here because this isn't about y'all. This is about me. And I'm going to have a great time here. It's going to look like I'm coming for your job again because I'm doing so well. So Tyler, thank you so much for just sitting down with us on a bonus edition of the Expect Effect podcast. Ty, where can the people find you?
Yo, you can find me on Facebook at Tyler Wedell. You can find me on Instagram at TMAC12. It's T-M-A-K-K.
TMAC12. Get out of here with that, TMAC.
Snapchat, same thing, TMAC12. I don't really fuck with Twitter, so you ain't gonna find me on Twitter. That's all of my handles right there. I appreciate you for having me on. I feel like this was a very good conversation. I kind of needed that, honestly. One more thing that I wanna let everybody know before I hop off of here is, do not be afraid to fail. You're not perfect at everything. You're not gonna be a natural at everything. The only way to get better is to fail and to learn from that and to get better. So all you can do is take failure as a lesson and as an opportunity to open another door. And once that door closes, okay, I didn't do that. That didn't go that didn't work that way. So adapt and overcome that. You know what I'm saying?
That's so powerful. And I love that you said view failure as the opportunity to open another door. I immediately visualize that F is like a key. Like, understand that failure just means you got another step. If you think about it as climbing a ladder, we have all fallen. You think any of us got what we wanted the first time around? Like, anybody? No, that's not how life works. So being willing to accept failure, Ty, that's so powerful. And just everything about you is so fascinating and inspiring to me. You're such a stand-up guy. At 26, y'all, Jay-Z was 48 years old when he dropped 444 and said, maybe I shouldn't have menage a trois on my wife. Maybe I should love my family. At 26 years old, you just usually don't see the kind of maturity, the kind of growth, and the kind of honesty, transparency, and just dopeness in one individual. So when y'all are plugging in and engaging with Ty on social media, really get into everything that you see on his page. He's been somebody who's been in my life since, I want to say, 2017. And I'm just so honored that he's still here, that he's still willing to come on and do shows with me. So thank you so much for signing off. Guys, this has been it. Another week of expecting better, doing better, and believing better. And I have a surprise second podcast coming, Anonymously Speaking. We'll have more information about that coming on our social media pages, but I think y'all are really going to like how we acting up on this one. And Ty, I'm definitely gonna have to have you down as a co-host on that show.
Yeah, much love, appreciate it.
All right, guys, we will see you next week.